Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Thursday, October 10, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. As we continue to progress on this planet, as far as awareness is concerned, and comprehending the fact that everything that we see around us, that we experience, including thoughts, are an illusion. One might say, well, maybe it's like make-believe. But we create it. We use the field energies to form and bring things together so that the reason is so that we can experience as much as possible. Now, when we come into these bodies, we have no memory of the previous life. We have like amnesia. And so we have no reference for ourselves. And we enter the baby body, and we basically start from scratch. We do have some residual memory, usually of the life before the one that you've now entered. Now, it's sparse, but it's there. It's kind of like the best way to put it, it's a residual amount of recollection of that past life. But that's it. That usually fades when we hit about between 5 and 7 years old, and then it's gone. And of course, when we're in a baby body and we're recalling a lot of different things from the past life, and the past life could have been 200 years ago, 300 years ago. We don't incarnate every couple of years, after we leave the body. It takes longer, and it's because we choose that. So we determine for ourselves when and if we want to enter another life. It's an open book, and we become, it's like an empty hard drive with an operating system, right? So we become programmed immediately, starts programming. In fact, when the baby body has not been birthed yet, but is about to be, any communication or talking outside of the womb is identified through the brain of that baby. So obviously we get birthed and we come out and we begin programming. The programming begins immediately. And then we progress from there. And we begin to develop our own personalities and character. Now, it's not like we know this. And as we develop our own personality and character, we go in different directions. Let's put it that way. Some of us go this way and that way. We're all on the same path, mind you, but we decide to go in these different directions depending on our programming. And after so long, let's say we go into, the body gets adulthood, stops growing, so to speak, and starts receding. We continue to be programmed. And in fact, we continue to get programmed all the way up until we leave the body. Now, some of us will through some form of catalyst, whatever it may be in our lives, we wake up. It's not like we've planned it that way, but we wake up. There are certain things that we create without our awareness for ourselves that will motivate an awakening. Could be an event, current, could be emotional, it could be many different things. But all of a sudden, you shift, and your perspective changes, shifts. And so you start looking at things a lot differently than you have your whole life. And probably some of you have recognized this when you woke up and you started realizing, wait, a lot of things don't feel right all of a sudden. And then you become motivated to kind of pull in everything you can, as much as you can, as often as you can. It's almost like you have this appetite that you never can satisfy, whether it be books or anything, articles, editorials, pictures, people. And this voracious appetite, usually it's not like you pick up a book and you read the whole book. It's like you pick up a book and you read a certain section, you're done with the book. It's not about finishing the book. It's about you're drawn to certain parts of that book and you're drawn to, you read them and you're done with them. I've done that many times through the years where I'm walking through like a Barnes & Noble or something, and I just go down the metaphysical, beyond physical aisle, and I just stroll through there, and all of a sudden, boom, there is a title of the book on the binding, and I just pick it up and start looking through it, and then I'll catch a couple of paragraphs that I am drawn to, and I'll assimilate them, and then that's it, put the book back. Other times you can see them sitting out on tables, and you might be drawn to the cover and what it says. But these are all vibrational frequencies. And these frequencies, they play an important role because they draw us on purpose. Now, one book you might be drawn to one book, but you might be with a group of friends and they're not drawn to it at all. They aren't interested in looking at it at all. But you are, see? So we tailor our progress and forming from our perspectives. And we get to the understanding and start realizing is that, wait a minute, some things have already changed, and it looks like they're going to continue to change, period. So you continue to research and you continue to take in things. And as you take those things in, you become more aware, more consciously aware. So it's a big deal that those of us who awaken to a certain extent and we're constantly assimilating, excuse me. And the reason that we're doing this is because we want to know. We're curious. We have that childlike curiosity that goes front and center. And we're curious. We want to know. We want to know exactly what's going on. And we never did before because we were totally, how do you want to put it? We were totally in the dark, so to speak. Okay. We did not really look. We just rolled along in this life. The question might be raised is then why doesn't everybody become aware? They're not ready. Their awakening hasn't happened. It may not happen in this lifetime. It may happen in the next one or the next one. And like I've said numerous times, this isn't a race. This is about us deciding, each of us, believe it or not, when we want to wake up. Because remember, we're creating everything. So we create these avenues that come front and center, specifically designed to wake us up. And it comes along. It could be, you could be, you know, in your 20s, or you could be in your teens, you could be in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And I've conversed with people who are in their 90s and woke up like months ago. So it isn't age dependent, is what I'm saying. It is designed for each of us at a specific time for us to awaken. And as we awaken, we start discovering a lot of things that we never knew, ever. And they start coming in. And we know that they are not false, okay? That they're absolute. We start gravitating more and more towards spirituality, which is going within, meditating, and finding out who and what you are. Again, the childlike curiosity hits front and center. That's what happens. And so we progress because we decide to do so, and we go within deeper and deeper and deeper. We begin to discover that we have this illusion of an ego mind, which runs us and guides us and controls us without our awareness. We also discover the heart mind, which is the gateway to the God that we are within these bodies. We also discover things about ourselves that we have suppressed or put away or hidden because we didn't care to interact with it. We just put it away, put it in a closet, and shut the door and just let it be, and I'm not going to mess with that. But we begin to embrace both the dark sides and the light side of ourselves, all aspects. And we go through a forgiveness period where we forgive ourselves for whatever it may be. Genuinely, not superficially, not ego mind, but through heart mind. And this is through meditation. And so when you do this, you're doing it because, see, you want to. You're not afraid. You might be a little apprehensive in the beginning on what you might find. But after a bit, it isn't a problem. It's not an issue for you anymore. You begin to embrace everything that comes along. And as you do this, you begin to move deeper and deeper to the core of who and what you are. And through meditation, this begins to take place. You become much more on a higher spiritual vibrational frequency. You begin to maintain it much more than spotty, where it's a little bit here and then not, and a little bit here and then not, where it's much more there than not. We also begin to discover that we can master our ego mind if we leave it alone. Say, ego mind doesn't care to have you leave it alone. It's because you are its servant, because of the thoughts that it generates, all of it. And remember, the only thing the ego mind really is looking for is peace. It doesn't know how to find it. It doesn't have a clue. And also, you recognize that the ego mind is more an infant than anything else. And it might sound strange to some people because it's so masterful of our lives and our direction and how, the decisions we make and how we make them. But that's what it was created for. And for us to master it. And the only way we can do that is in the now, in these meditations, where you get in a comfortable position, You have no outside distractions, noises or anything. And if you do, put earplugs and an eye mask on. And you relax into the body. The only true way to relax your body is to relax into your body. So as you relax into your body, you're focused on your breath rising and falling, and you're as still as a statue. And you're in a comfortable position because you're relaxing into your body. This deep silence is omnipotently powerful because it's where all your answers are to all of your questions, and questions you haven't even come up with yet in this life. So what we do is we begin to like it. So we do it more. At first people, they kind of go, I don't have time for that. It's too boring, and it's, just sitting and doing nothing. That's ego mind. See, that's the ego mind's influence. And so a lot of people, in fact, the majority of people on this planet, feel similar ways. They feel guilty just sitting and doing nothing and being. Because we've been taught what? We've got to chase everything. We've got to go after everything. See, that's the way it is. And we don't know any other way. So we finally begin to realize that we no longer care to be in the proverbial rat race on the planet. Everybody's scurrying, rushing here, rushing there, getting here, getting there, doing this, doing that. We step out of it. You can visualize what it's like when you were in the rat race. It's like this ocean of people. And everybody is shuffling forward. And everybody's so packed in. The reason they call it the rat race is because if you ever saw a colony of rats, you would understand where they got that name, that label. So everybody's scurrying, shuffling their feet. They can't run because it's so packed, okay? And they're just shuffling along. What are they doing? They're looking straight ahead, right? They might be looking at someone's back of someone's head, but they're trying to look straight ahead. And everybody is shuffling along. But if you ask one of them, where are you going? I don't have time to answer you. I've got to keep moving forward. I've got to keep going up here. We'll get there. Where are you going to get? I will get there up here, up here. Don't ask me any more questions. I've got to focus on this. And so you picture, you can visualize this as a watcher or an observer. That's what's happening. Everybody's shuffling forward. Everybody's shuffling their feet forward. They can't run, because they only have a certain space to move their feet because it's so packed. Now, once in a while, one of us will say to ourselves, I don't really care to do this anymore. I'm out of here. And we peel off on a side street, okay? And we're out of it, and we're looking at it for the first time from afar, and we're blown away. We say to ourselves, I can't believe I've been in that all this time and never knew it. That's a true awakening. That's when someone really wakes up. They leave the rat race. Yeah, they have their lives and everything and responsibilities, but they no longer choose or care to be completely blind, going somewhere that no one knows where that is, or anything else. Makes sense when you look at this planet and you see it the way it is, as an observer or watcher through the heart-mind. So it's quite interesting how this materializes for us at a particular timing factor. And then you're called what? What are you called? Because you're no longer embracing that existence. Well, you're called black sheep. You're unusual, you know. You don't dance to the same guitar music. And you're forward progressive, and your childlike curiosity is front and center, and you're looking, and it's like a kid in a candy store. You want everything. You're lighter. You don't feel anywhere near as heavy. And it just keeps progressing. And your enthusiasm is super important, is way up there. Because this is a new discovery. It's not like the old ways that we've been so ensconced in generation after generation, ages after ages, where we're following a leader and we don't know who the leader is. Isn't that right? We're following a leader and we don't know who the leader is, nor can we see the leader. That's the rat race. Now, when we decide to leave the rat race, we then become much more aware. Not judgmental of those still in that trance, so to speak. Not judgmental at all, because we're learning. And what are we learning? Well, we're learning how to meet the God that we are. That's what all of this is about. And someone might say, well, then what happens after you discover you're the God in the body? And you celebrate. Then you begin to master your thoughts. Once you've discovered that you're the God in the body and not the body, you realize a lot of things that you thought you never even knew were there. And then you become so amazed at all of these little facets and things that are taking place that you're just full of joy and bliss and happiness for no particular reason. And that enthusiasm skyrockets your frequency. And you realize there's no catalyst there, that you just feel really, really, really good. And the reason that is because now you know you're the God. And now you look at your ego mind from a whole different aspect, a whole different perspective. You say, I can now master my ego mind by leaving it alone and just observing it. You know, what thoughts come in, those ego mind, my reactions, emotionality and reactions to others in this society, you know, how I respond. You'll begin to identify ego mind, and you'll be blown away how much you're influenced by ego mind. And once you start doing this, you begin to learn and experience, and you start to know what the ego mind is all about. You continually drop into the heart mind on a continual basis, consistently, which opens up things even more and broader, which then you can associate with a lot of different things with yourself. You'll find that judgment leaves you permanently. You don't, it's not there. You're not participating, you're observing. And you begin to observe more and more, which means there's no judgment there because you're through the heart mind and you are the God within that body. So in the quiet time of this meditation, focus on this. As you're relaxed into the body, still as a statue, and watching the breath rise and fall in the space between heartbeats, the now. Embrace who and what you truly are, which is the God, the pure consciousness. All that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And watch what happens. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body. Focus on the breath rising and falling. For today, deeply and eternally love yourself. And we're not talking about ego mind, talking about heart mind, way beyond romantic love. Deeply and eternally love yourself. Every waking moment until you lay your head on the pillow tonight. And watch what happens. See what you experience. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. And we will return here Friday, October 11, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call, and a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call and all the rest. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you or outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.